This is the Do This, Sell More show. I'm your host, Dave Lorenzo, and today we have a fantastic guest who's going to share with you a business model that is engaging and fascinating to me, and I think it's going to be fascinating to you too. I have with me today Chris Ciccinelli, and he's the CEO and president of Pure Romance. Now, Pure Romance is a powerhouse of a sales company. Chris has over 100,000 consultants as part of his team right now, all over the US, throughout Australia, Puerto Rico, and South Africa. He joined the company in 2000, and he assists his mother, believe it or not, who started the company, with the challenging task of developing longer-term brand marketing and business development. Chris's business genius, his pure enthusiasm, and his strategic vision have set the trajectory for success that continues to this very day. Now, he's the president and CEO of Pure Romance. He spends over 270 days a year. Oh my God, that's 200 days more a year than I do on the road, which is crazy. He goes from city to city. We're lucky enough to have him with us today. And Chris, welcome to the show. I want to really get into this and have you tell us about this great company and how it got started and how you got involved in it.
All right, Dave, thanks for having me on the show. And I appreciate that bio. It makes me sound a lot better than I really am, how I got into this, my mom started this business in the basement of her house in 1993. I had no desire to go into work with my mother. No desire to be part of a family business at all. Went and worked for a publicly traded company out of Atlanta, Georgia. And my mom was able to take this business from 1993 till 2000, and she was able to really kind of mastermind to grow the company from 0 to $1 million, right? Which was huge. Everybody asked me what's the hardest thing in business. I said 0 to the first million is always the toughest. I ended up coming back in. She asked me to help her scale the business, help her grow the business. And that's what we did. Her and I went in 2000, and we went for 3 years straight living in U-Haul, offering a business opportunity to people that wanted to go out there, own and operate their own business, go over, get their kids on the bus in the morning, get the kids off the bus at night, cook, clean, do homework, and still be able to make a full-time income. And we took that and we had scaled it. We went from $1 million to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32. And it was a very, very fast-paced growth, taking basically, individuals that are, maybe they could be working at a restaurant, they could be working at, a law office, they could be, maybe just a admin assistant, and turning them into, $1 million sales teams. These weren't people that were selling in the past. We would work with them on how to build their teams out.
Now, what's the pitch to these folks who have busy lives, right? I'm a part-time Uber driver myself. We have 2 kids, and not part-time Uber driver, literally. I'm an Uber driver for my 10-year-old. I take him to practice in the afternoon. So these people have busy lives. What's the pitch that gets them engaged in inviting their friends, their family, and then expanding their circle, their natural network out to bring people into the business? What's the pitch that wins them over?
I think there's a couple different pitches. One, that they are their own CEO. They're their own boss, right? They get to make their own shots. They get to decide how many hours they want to work. And I think there is the monetary pieces that people like. They're like, hey, look, you mean I don't have a glass ceiling over top of me? I can make 100,000. I can make 50,000. I can make 600,000. The sky's the limit. So there's that group of people, but there's also 45% of the people join our business because they want to belong to something. They like that tribe mentality. They like to be able to come in a room and know that other people have their back, that other people are supporting them. So there are multiple different reasons why people come into it. Our pitch is this simple. If you are somebody that wants to own and operate your own business and wants to get out of this whole job mentality, which is just over broke mentality, because that's all a job basically gives you today, and we are a place for you to be able to come and own and operate your own business.
That's great. I love the acronym Just Over Broke. That's fantastic. Tell me a little bit about what's attractive to the end user, to the client. So your consultant comes on board, and I would imagine it's predominantly, from what I read, women, but maybe it's he or she comes on board and they're excited about the business opportunity. How do they then go out and engage their clients? What's their approach for their clients?
I think the first thing is when they get on, what we've seen, and now doing this 19 years, each year there's been a subtle decline in what I call soft selling skills, social skills. We're in a society that communicates 140 characters or less.
Mhm.
So really, teaching them on how to have a conversation. What is their introductory speech or the 30-second commercial, or sometimes people say their elevator pitch. It's really, how do we refine that for them in the beginning? Because if we don't, or if we do not help them figure out what to say to their friends, to their family members, they basically bought this kit and they will not do anything with it because they're not sure of what to say. So the first thing that we have to coach them through is, what is it that you're doing? What is this whole thing of Pure Romance? It's an in-home party plan for women. We sell lotions, lingerie, bedroom accessories. If you have a party with me, you're going to make $100 to $150 worth of free product just for having your friends over for a fun educational evening. And we have to really teach them on what their pitch is, making sure their scripting is done properly. A lot of people are like, really, that you have to script out that much? Yes, because these were not people that were born to. They weren't like destined to be salespeople. I think sales is something that is taught. I don't think the one thing that we work on a lot is people aren't buying product anymore. People are buying people. They buy the way people communicate with their body language. They buy with their tonality. So we are teaching them not only scripting, but we're also teaching them how to communicate with body language, with tone, and with using proper words.
Talk to me about the experience that your consultants create when they set up these parties, because the consultant actually just goes to a friend and says, hey, will you host the party? And then helps the friend with, I'm sure, invitations and getting the people together and that sort of thing. But your consultants really create an entire experience for the people who are there. Tell me about that. Tell me about the evolution of that. How did you guys figure out what the experience had to be like?
Well, I think that goes back to when my mom was doing parties. My mom was doing 20 to 25 parties a month. The experience is this simple. There are a lot of people that are out there right now that want to have fun. They want to be able to be creative with the relationship. I mean, the divorce rate is creeping to 60%, right? And so there are a lot of people that are sitting there saying, hey, I want to keep my relationship fun. I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep it exciting. And that's what our consultants basically do. They come in, they set up their display table, they set up an area where there's 8 to 10 women that come in. It's all women only. So there's a very safe environment. They can talk, they can laugh, they can giggle, they can ask great questions about their body, their sexual health, whatever it might be. And the cool part about it is our person that's throwing the party, our consultant, gives this presentation. And then the coolest part is they go into a separate room and they have a private consultation where the ordering really takes place. It's about an hour worth of a party and about 20 minutes of each individual person going through creating their own recipe that they might have for their relationship. So my consultants are kind of like the virtual part of Pinterest, right? You're looking, everybody has an idea of what they want to serve for a holiday party or whatever. People have lost their creativity. So our consultants are really like Pinterest boards for people. Hey, you need this for your life, or, oh, let me get, you're going on vacation, here's something to take. And that's the beauty of it, because again, people are buying their referrals, people are buying the experiences that our consultants are putting together. When you go to a store, you don't know how it all works. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, everything looks so overwhelming. And really, we tell our consultants, you're really creators of experiences. You're not salespeople.
That's great. So we're speaking with Chris Cicconelli. He's the CEO and president of Pure Romance. And Pure Romance is a company that provides all sorts of products and solutions for people who want to up the level of the intimacy in their relationships. They do this with a consultant model where they host in-home parties at the homes of their friends and people engage with them. And from what Chris tells me, they can make a really good amount of money doing this. So if you're interested, go to their website. And Chris, your website is pureromance.com. Is that right?
Pureromance.com.
pureromance.com. You can check everything out there. Chris, talk to me about how you go about recruiting. What's the model like for recruiting consultants into your business? Because I have people who are in very conventional businesses tell me all the time that the market is really tough to recruit people. So tell me about your experience recruiting people, and how do you recruit consultants into your business these days?
I think recruiting people, I would agree with a lot of the people that you talk to that have conventional businesses. With the job market the way it is right now, it is getting tougher and tougher for people to want to have that secondary job. You're also talking about 72 million, millennials that are out there right now that are going to make 40% less than any other generation before them. And so recruiting is getting a lot tougher. We've had to change and pivot how we've operated. You know, we used to sell the money aspect, the being able to have that kind of work-life balance aspect, and now we really have to also sell that purpose. You know, what is your purpose that that you're trying to get, that you're trying to achieve? You know, ours is educating people on women's sexual health. It's out there, going out there and giving women an opportunity to break through the glass ceiling where they get to control how much money it is that they make. They get to control the balance of not having guilt that they got to go to work at certain hours. So, we really are educating our consultants on how are some of the pain thresholds that people feel when they're joining a new business or when they want to look for something. People want to have something now that they can tailor for their own work-life balance. And we have to understand what it is that people want. And we need to teach our consultants, which we do, to stop trying to sell people into the business. Listen to them into the business. Listen to what their needs are. Listen to what their wants are. And then you sell towards the needs, not try to oversell her about how great the business, how great your experience is. Well, wonderful. It's great for you, but you might love it because you have free time with your kids. You might love it because you have, you're able to take the extra vacation. Well, she has no kids and doesn't like to travel. So you now just lost yourself in recruiting somebody because you didn't listen to what she wants out of this.
It's so important to make sure that you're making that connection with people and that you're emotionally engaging them and pulling them in for what will resonate with them in the job. Tell me about your role now as a coach, because you're the CEO of the company, so I'm sure you do a lot of strategic planning, but being on the road 270 days a year with over 100,000 consultants, I'm sure you're out there coaching people up too. How do you get people to plan that 1 or 2 extra parties a month that's going to put them over the top toward their goal? Let's start with what your toughest challenge is as a coach now for people who are really civilians who are learning how to sell for the first time.
My biggest thing is that I'm dealing with excuses over efforts, right? So many people right now that I'm dealing with can throw me so many different excuses of why they can't do something, or why they can't go out and work, why they can't go out and cold call, why they can't, build that relationship with the people that have attended their parties. I deal with that. That's probably my biggest thing as a coach that I deal with. That doesn't work because that's my excuse. Yeah, I don't feel like doing it, but if I want to get the outcome, then I need to commit to it. And we talk a lot about my coaching style is quit worrying about being wealthy. Quit worrying about the outcome. You got to commit to the processes. The processes are what are going to get you to the outcome. And too many people that I work with on a day-to-day basis, because we live in this instant society where everybody has to have it today, I mean, it's never fast enough anymore. McDonald's isn't fast enough for us anymore. So therefore, I'm dealing with people that I've got to set expectations with, let them understand, yes, this is your outcome. I want to make 50,000. I want to make 100,000. I want to make $1 million. Well, I hear that, but let's get all the processes in play that are going to get us to that 100, that 50, that $1 million that we want to go out and make. Like today, I'm in Milwaukee, and I'm got a session getting ready to start here in a few minutes, and I'll have a couple hundred people in this room, and the biggest obstacle that they have to overcome that I'm coaching through is the obstacle of themselves. That is one of the biggest things that I see today is the excuses, the things that get in their way. And it's more because they don't feel like they deserve. They don't feel like they're worthy. Therefore, a lot of people have this fear of the unknown.
I see. I get that all the time. I feel like it's self-esteem too. The worthiness issue comes from them not feeling good enough about themselves to feel like they deserve to have the income that they're going to make eventually. Give me, Chris, if you would, in the couple of minutes we have left, give me a success story. Give me a story that you're really proud of from your business, either one of your consultants or a leader in your company. Tell me a story that you're really proud of from what you've done with the company in the last 18, 19 years.
I have so many stories, but I think there's one that comes into mind, and that was working with a young lady that got in business with us. She was a nurse. She had all of these different types of degrees, all the different things that she went to college for, but she had this one small issue, which was $60,000 in credit card debt.
Oh my goodness.
we sat down and put a plan together, because I'm a person that I believe that the biggest currency in life is not money. The biggest currency in life is choices. And this young lady had no choices. I mean, literally, she was, every day she would wake up feeling ill that she could not pay these credit cards off. She was paying minimum payments. And we literally devised a 2-year plan on how we were going to take and pay this $60,000 worth of credit card debt off. And we were able to do that in 22 months.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It was really about being methodical. It was about being disciplined. It was not spending over our means. We were very, very aggressive on paying down the credit cards each and every month, setting that game plan that we needed to execute. And that was the whole thing. Let's commit to the process of going out there and holding the parties, commit to the process of saving our money, commit to the process of making sure we're following back up with those customers to either book parties or do orders with us. And then each and every day, we're going to slowly pay those off. It's not going to be overnight. You cannot be looking at those statements all the time. They cannot be something that's going to keep you up at night. You know that our process will get us there if you just commit to it. And the outcome 22 months later was she's out of debt. And today she's got a bank account full of $40,000, which I think is a huge success story.
That's fantastic. That's a great success story. All right, Chris, the last thing that I ask everybody on the show is to share with us the best piece of advice you've received. It could either be business advice or sales advice. Give me the best piece of advice that somebody imparted on you that you hearken back to either when times get tough or on a regular basis.
Well, I go back to a tagline that my mom used: surround yourself with talented people. And that's exactly what I do. I continuously surround myself with talented people, with people that are going to push me to be the best version of myself, the people that are going to challenge me to think outside the box. And that's one of the biggest things I think in this world today. You got to make sure that you're constantly looking at your circles of influence, the people that are around you, and constantly be upgrading and finding like-minded people that are gonna push you and that want to see best for you, and that are going to be there to challenge you. And that's exactly what I do each and every day. I mean, that's why I'm on your show, is because, finding like-minded people. I mean, what you've done in business, I was super amazed when I read your story, and now you're in my circle of friends now that hopefully we can do things with.
I appreciate that. So we've been speaking with Chris Cicconelli today. Now, Chris is the CEO of Pure Romance, and this is an opportunity for those of you who are looking for maybe a little extra money, or if you're watching this on YouTube and it's a couple of years after the interview, maybe you've hit upon hard times and we're going through a recession, who knows, and you want to make more money. He's got a business that I'm willing to bet survives any type of economic downturn, because they provide experiences that make people feel better and help people improve the most important part of their lives, their relationships. I want you to go to pureromance.com, check out what they have there. Give yourself a chance to look at this as a business opportunity for you. Contact them and see what they can do to help you grow your income, as well as maybe, just maybe, improve your relationship. Chris, is that the best way for people to get involved with Pure Romance, is to go to the website?
100%, pureromance.com.
All right, pureromance.com. Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show today. I think we've learned a lot about the business model that you have and what you've done with people who are just regular people, and they're now out there. Some of them are really killing it, making great money, providing fantastic experiences with people through relationship-based sales. It's been an honor to have you on the show today. Thanks very much, Chris.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, folks, that's another edition of the Do This, Sell More show. Thanks for joining us. We're here every Thursday on YouTube. Please click that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so that you can be notified when we do another great interview like this. Until next week, we will see you right back here. I hope you do this and sell more.